Hey everyone, welcome back to Part Out. I'm Nate, and today we've got a 2018 Jeep Wrangler JL. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this Dana 44 front axle and we're going to beef it up a lot. How we're going to do that? So we're going to take these axle shafts from RCV. So today I've got a special guest on the show. Justin McLean is joining us from JKS Manufacturing. This is actually their Jeep. Hey Justin, nice to have you on the show.
How's it going, buddy? So yeah, this is JKS Manufacturing's 2018 Jeep Wrangler JLU. We affectionately call it Project Clifford. This thing is already pretty beefed up. It's kind of been everywhere and done everything. We've got the Barnes four-wheel drive Pritchett Canyon Series bumpers and rocker guards on it. We've also got the Baja Designs lighting. Of course, our Warn winch and our Factor 55 accessories. This thing has tested out a ton of different JKS J-rated suspension systems, and currently it's sitting on a prototype coilover conversion. These are going to be the Fox 2.5 diameter coilovers, 12 inches in travel this time for the JL.
Hold on, you got coilovers already on a JL.
We do. The minute we saw the JL, that's what we wanted to do anyway. It was get it to a set of those Fox coilovers just because of the tunability, the ride quality, and of course, the off-road performance.
That just makes sense.
Absolutely.
Plus, they just look cool.
They are kind of cool.
JL owners like what looks cool.
That's right.
Anyways, so you've got your JKS prototype coilover conversion on here. I see you've got a Fox steering stabilizer on here as well.
Yep, that is a prototype non-adjustable pass-through design. You guys keep an eye on Fox. They're always creating new products for us Jeepers, and you know, thankfully, us being part of the Fox family, we get to test a lot of those products.
That's pretty neat.
I might have scratched it.
Yeah, whatever.
It happens.
So enough shameless plugging on products left and right. Let's go ahead and start with these RCV axle shafts. Okay, so first things first, what we gotta do is we actually gotta take this caliper off. We gotta get the rotor as well as the whole hub assembly. We gotta rip it all out so that way we can get straight to those axle shafts and beef them up.
Who farted?
Not it.
That was
the plastic that made the farting sound.
All right, fine. Fine. It wasn't a fart.
Okay, so it was really cool enough for RCV to send us a set of their Ultimate CVs because we're on the brand new JL Wrangler, and it's actually Justin and I's first time taking a shot at this as far as disassembling the front axle to get in there to see what all we got to do. We're learning as we go, but Justin's currently in there trying to figure out some snap ring things, and right here I've got one of the stock shafts.
Son of a bitch.
Now, one of the major benefits of actually having an RCV axle shaft is that you're ditching the U-joint design here on the factory shafts. So you have this design here, which is okay for stock purposes only. As far as what you're wanting to use out on the trail, you want to actually use the RCV because you can actually get full power out of the axle as far as when... So the neat thing about upgrading the axle shafts from the factory ones from the Dana 44 housing to the RCV Ultimate Performance axle shafts is that you're actually going to be ditching the U-joint design that comes on the factory axle shafts. Which means that you can run a larger tire size with ease as you go over the rocks. How is this possible? Well, when you turn the steering wheel at full lock with a U-joint design, after you shift into four-wheel drive of course, you'll feel this jerking in the steering wheel, and that's called crow hop. What that basically is that you're maxing out the U-joint's capabilities, and you'll hear a lot of grinding coming from the front of the vehicle. Eventually the U-joints will give way and break and leave you in 3 possible situations. A long trail fix if you happen to have replacement parts on board, or stranded on a trail, or gracefully limp the rig back home depending on how bad the damage is. You can eliminate all of that with the RCV axle shafts, as they have a proven CV system that will allow you to get the full performance at full lock when you're out on the trails. Or mall parking lot, whatever works for you. This is for a Dana 44 JL Rubicon axle. It's actually stronger than a Dana 60 U-joint design. All right, so now one of the neat things about the RCV kit as far as replacing these front axle shafts is that they actually retain the ability to keep it as an OEM direct replacement part. So what that basically means is that you got all the electronics that go into the front disconnect system that the Rubicon models have, and basically all we got to do is we got to just unhook it and we put in their new components, and this will all bolt right back up the way it was as if it was OEM, so that way we're not going to get any dash lights when we turn this Jeep on. Fingers crossed. Alright, so with RCVs, you'll notice they're staple, I guess, when you see a vehicle rolling up and you see these orange cones in there. This is pretty much how you can tell if someone has an RCV product. What this actually is basically the dust shield so that nothing gets in on the actual CV joint itself, so all the grease in there can keep doing its job and keep the dirt out and all that stuff. Whatever. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and install this axle shaft the best that we can.
We keep the grease on the outside of the boot during installation, obviously. Want to make sure we have plenty of grease on the outside of the boot. All right.
So as far as when we put the hub assembly back together, we noticed that there was a hardware kit included from RCV, and what that basically was actually they were replacing the bolts in the kit, so that way the actual flange on the stock bolts that came off the Jeep have a larger flange on there versus the actual RCV ones. And why they did that was the actual bell of the CV here is so large that if you go full crank on it, it'll actually hit the flange on there. So they were thinking ahead of things, and so I got a smaller flange on here, that way we can get the full rotation when we're turning the wheels.
Whoa! Big spider. He's living in the brake pads. He's super dead now.
Alright guys, so we've got the RCV axle shafts fully installed, ready to go. And basically why we wanted to install these is because we wanted something stronger than a U-joint operation for our axles. Now, Justin's going to be traveling all over the country, tackling all sorts of awesome trails, and this is definitely going to be an upgrade that he definitely needs to have for his Jeep. So, by all means, subscribe to Part Out. We'll see you guys next time.